doing this too at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back. What's happening, everybody? It's your big homie Doe checking in one time for the one time back with another episode of Donuts with Doe. And on today's podcast, we got one of them guys I like to call a slash guy because he do so much. He like a Swiss Army knife.
Man,
He's a promoter. He's a community leader, a community organizer, uh, road manager, booking agent, promoter, barber. Shoot, we can go on and on, but we ain't got enough time.
look, man, I
We ain't got
appreciate it.
enough
Yeah.
time. So we like to welcome Otis Carter the fourth.
Yes, sir.
to the
Appreciate you, brother.
podcast.
Appreciate you. It's an honor and a blessing to be on here with you today.
Oh man, we go back, so this
Yeah.
ain't even like a interview. This is like just a conversation
Yeah.
with one of my homies, man.
Yes, sir.
But for the listening pleasures, we have to give you the background of how you know Otis Carter became OC in the streets of Nashville, putting on for the city, man.
Yeah.
So just take us back, man. I know you're originally from Mississippi, man, and
Yeah.
tell us about your upbringing in Mississippi. What part of Mississippi you from,
Oh
and
man.
how you got here.
Well, I'm from actually was born in Moss Point, Mississippi.
Okay,
Moved to Nashville very young, about 3 or 4 years old. My mom's from here. So
okay,
my mom and dad, he Tennessee State alum. And happened to move back as a young man too by the 5th grade. Moved back to Moss Point. And it was just coming from Nashville, being in the inner city, in this country accent I didn't always have that. I got that from being down there with them so long. I used to be proper when I got to Mississippi. But it's a difference, man. It's a different love and a different atmosphere that you get being in those neighborhoods with those grandmamas and just that country environment. Cause we were slow, but we fast. So it wasn't like we were country bumpkins.
right.
We would just talk a little slower than everybody else, but we really was on, we was on point. We was well traveled. We had a lot of experiences with the band, with athletics. We've had a lot of success come through our town. So we're not a stranger to, to the lights.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of people that come out of that area,
Yeah.
man. Shoot, I don't know if he's from that area, but you got Monte Ellis from down that way,
from Jackson.
Of course, your boy,
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker
Oh,
from
yeah.
shooting the lights out.
That's
at
the
the
guy.
Suns.
That's I got shout out D Book, man. His family,
Yeah.
dad, granddad, all from Moss Point, Mississippi too, as
Sure.
well. He got a long, strong lineage. His dad actually played in the league too.
Hmm.
So he wasn't a stranger
Melvin.
to. Yeah, Melvin Book.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know your history.
A little
Oh
something.
yeah.
I gotta be
You know-
well rounded.
Oh yeah, I like that though.
Yeah. Man. So we're gonna get into you got here and you said
Yeah.
you moved back.
I moved back.
and
Yeah.
then
I
you-
moved back in 2006.
Okay.
My wife now at the time my girlfriend, she moved up here first in 2005, and in 2006 I felt the need to come follow her up here, and since I had family up here, it just all worked out, and man, just swinging and banging in Nashville, man.
So before we even get to that, what were we doing in Mississippi to prepare us for another round in Nashville?
Man, let's just say though, I wasn't the I was today. I
We all
was
got a
all
pass.
over the place. I was all over the place. That was my start to entrepreneurship though. I always was a hustler. I used to cut hair. I did everything. So fake Jordans. I did everything, bro. I was in the street. I had some stuff going on I ain't so proud of, but I did it all, man. Everything. Entrepreneurship has always been in my spirit though. As long as I can remember. Everybody on the live from my town can tell you I was cutting hair at 15 years old. All the band members, football players, everything used to come by the crib.
On the front porch.
My granddad actually had a barber, so he was a barber. So
Oh,
we had a
okay.
little shed in the back, barber chair, window unit, We had chairs in there for my people that could wait on me and everything. We couldn't have from $3 or $5. I was like 15 years old,
Banging it out.
banging it out.
Yes, sir.
So, it's in me.
I wish some haircuts were still $3 and $5.
Yeah.
I
I
done
done cut
paid.
a many heads, boy, to buy a pair of shoes, boy, back then.
Yeah, so we barbering, we did dibbling and dabbling out here. And how was your upbringing? Did you have your mother and father in the household? Did you have siblings? What was your household like?
I had my mother and father always in my life, but I didn't live with them together when I moved to Mississippi. My dad took me because I was in the inner city, Nashville. Like I wasn't in the burbs. I was in the projects,
Okay.
some of these rough apartment complexes at the time. So it was more so my mom, my dad came to a decision to let me go down there and get some structure, more structure for our stability. My mom always stand up, my dad stand up, raised me right, you know. But going down there was just the surroundings. And even though it was the same pressures and the same thing going on a little bit, it wasn't just all around you. It didn't engulf me. So I always had the other examples of success and blueprints and stuff. I'm around my granddad, Navy, circumnavigated the globe 4 times, had a certificate every time he went around the world. It was just a beautiful thing. My grandmama, we had a thing on our wall where she posted everybody's if you ever been to my grandma's house, she had everybody's plaques and accomplishments on the wall. So when I moved down there, I didn't have anything on the wall. So I'm looking at my dad, my granddad, and my uncles, my aunt, everybody, all they whether athletics, academia, music, whatever. So it kind of inspired me to get something added to that wall with my name on it too.
Yeah, because you the fourth. So
yeah.
You got Otis Carter. You got Otis Carter Jr. You
Yeah.
got third.
Yes,
so you
sir.
got to hey.
Yeah, I gotta
Ain't
add
no
to that.
fourth on there.
Ain't no fourth on there.
So what we doing, man?
Yeah, so it was just that, and I didn't realize that drove me until you get old and realize, dog, you looking at the accomplishments of your family, you looking at greatness every single day. Every time I walk through the door and walk out the door, I see these wall full of plaques. I'm talking about like 40 and 50. We start floating over to the other wall when I started getting my accomplishments at that time, because they was already filled up from the generation before me.
Okay, you got siblings? Did you have any siblings?
I got a brother, an older sister, and a younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't grow up in the same household. I'm my dad's only child.
Okay.
But we close. We close. They my folks. I love them. I love Big Sis. Me and Big Sis grew up together. Grew up together until I moved to Mississippi. Then coming just visiting my little sister and little brother, until I moved up here and could become full time.
And so how was it growing up with a big sister? Was she the boss? Because I know my big sister, rest in peace, she was the boss.
Yeah. Man, she was fun. We fought now, but she was fun. My sister was fun. She was cool, man. She took care of me too. Mama having to work, dad having to work and stuff like that. I spent a lot of time with her. She took care of me. She didn't really boss me around too much. It was more so just keeping me guided.
Okay.
So she ain't really just enforce anything just to be a mean big sis or anything like that. It more so, hey, you ain't gonna do that. Cause she grew up in John Henry Hale.
Okay.
So she wasn't gonna let me fall by the wayside if it was on her watch. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah, she was true. She was the truth.
Growing up with your sister, you in Nashville. Let's go to your high school. How was high school? What was into high school?
Music. I was a band guy, man, 100%. But I played sport.
You was a band geek?
I was 100% band geek. I'm talking about band geek. But my generation made band cool in our school system. Like we was the guys, band wasn't nothing.
It's different. I say band is different coming up in the South.
Yeah.
Like, I use the term band geek because it's
that's what we proud band geeks though.
But in the South,
yeah.
Oh, you gonna pick up an instrument, you gonna learn something. Try. You gonna at least learn something because all of our greats come from that. The Commodores, Earth, Wind, and Fire, they all come from, picking up an instrument at a young age.
Right. And fortunately we didn't have the culture down there where we talent shamed. It was cats that could sing, cats that could play instruments, you were the athlete. We didn't really have that culture, but we did. I gotta say that on camera. my generation, that class a year or two before me, all the way up to the year or two after me, band didn't have a cool or positive connotation in my city, in Moss Point. It was just something to do. It was predominantly white. The black kids weren't really interested. We got a black band director when I was in the ninth grade, and my dad was the assistant band director, and that kind of drove that influx of black students in, and we sauced it up. So after we've been had a solid band ever since. We kind of changed the reputation. We made it cool. So now you in Moss Point, you could be in the band, don't have to worry about getting teased or janked or anything. You straight.
Y'all was in there playing radio hits.
We playing radio hits, man. The football team finally had something they could get crunk to. They come to, I told you I cut their hair. So I'm cutting at least 7, 8 of the players' hair. They come, man, y'all really had us cranked, and they winning state championships, the band cranked. It was just a good environment. I grew high school was cool, man. And high school was cool. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. We had a fun experience at Moss Point.
So what happened in high school that molded you into wanting to go to college? And, what are we doing after high school?
Man, it was the band, bro. Like like I said, the class 2 before me was graduating when I started getting into the band. A couple of those cats like Terrence Suge Davis, he went to Jackson State.
Okay.
It was in the band. And he was one of the cool guys, but he didn't necessarily have the cool band directors his whole career. He got like Prof. Muhammad his last year, and my daddy like his last year. And he ended up going to HBCU, but he used to come back and we visit school visits. And he up there cool. Like he one of the cool cats. And if I had to single-handedly give the credit to one person that kind of influenced me to go to besides my dad going to TSU and just people in my family, but somebody around my peer, my age, going and saying, and I'm looking at him like, oh man, that's some cool shit, man. It was him.
Man, I had a cousin like that, cousin named Booger.
Yeah.
Down in Corinth, man. He was in the band High Steppin'.
Yeah.
And I remember, seeing him in the band. They had parades like for homecoming. They call it homecoming down there for the black schools in that area where my mom's from. And I remember him coming down the street, high stepping. I can see that like vividly. He had on them Deion sandals.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I can see how, that inspired you to, to go further into Alcorn State.
Yeah. Alcorn, man, listen, we went down there deep too. We went down there with a big class. It was some of us went to Jackson State and some of us went to Alcorn. And that was the time of my life. That's when I remember the first song I learned. That's how that impacted me. That Elder Boys, I Like It. After the school song, we played I Like It. That was our first song we learned in college. And I remember the first time getting on campus. Yeah, the first day on campus. I'm with my grandparent, with my grandmama, my aunt, my dad, they dropping me off. I got on a fit like a polo shirt, some Eastlands at the time.
Hey, shout out to Eastland.
Shout out to Eastland, man.
Hey, for all y'all young folks watching this, that was before Sperry's.
Yeah.
You had the Eastlands.
And they were way more durable than the Sperry's too. Sperry's getting over. Eastland, I had them Eastlands on, a nice little leather belt. I'm clean, thinking I'm going to like a college walkthrough. Man, Grip, we was in that band house about 15 minutes. He kicked the parents out. Y'all go home. He said, hey, y'all better go put on something comfortable. Man, put on, went to y'all got 15 minutes. Had to go way across campus with our bags that we haven't even had a chance to unpack yet. Put our stuff on. He put that music in front of our face. We learned that song, those 2 songs, that first day of band camp.
Oh, wow.
I remember like it was yesterday. But it was fun, man. Alcorn being around, I ain't gonna lie, going to HBCU, being around all those black students with that's trying to achieve high standards of academics, also having fun, also with different personalities. That was a beautiful experience, man.
So in that vicinity, you got Alcorn, you got Jackson State,
Iowa away.
You got, what is that, Tougaloo?
Tougaloo, Iowa is in Jackson too. That's an hour away.
I'm thinking Delta State. That's
a couple hours away.
So you got
that's in Cleveland.
You got all those schools around you. Who was your rival? And was you pulling up to to the
Man,
schools and get some action in with that band.
look, man, our rivals at Jackson State. No disrespect to Mississippi Valley, but the
Okay.
big dogs were Alcorn and Jackson State, and Jackson State always had the numbers, so we always used to come in smaller than them, but we made them respect us, and they used to get down, but pound for pound, couldn't nobody mess with us, man. I'm gonna be honest though, couldn't nobody mess with us. But it always was friendly because we used to go to Jackson State and visit often. We had quite a lot of friends. People went to the same high schools. You might have a graduating class like us from Moss Point. 4 or 5 of my cats go up there. 4 or 5 of my partners come with me to Alcorn. But it's like that in Greenville. It's like that from Natchez, Vicksburg, all these surrounding cities. They got people that come here and friends that go there. So we visiting campus, talking noise. It's real competitive, but it was fun. It was all in fun.
Fun fact about the city of Jackson, Mississippi. Did you know that Jackson, Mississippi is 85% black?
Yes.
It's a very
Yeah.
chocolate
Very
city. It's
chocolate
dark
city.
chocolate,
It's a beautiful
actually.
city too, man. I love Jackson.
Man, why would you say that a city like Jackson hasn't progressed as like maybe Atlanta or any other places? Why isn't that industry couldn't find its way there versus Atlanta? Even you got a city like Clarksdale that's famous for the home of the blues
Blues,
and,
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Shout out Clarks. I've been there too. Clarks Vegas, man. I like Clarksdale. But I'm gonna tell you why, man. The state of Mississippi, we're not doing a good job. It's not just them too, because there's a lot of responsibility on us now, because we have a lot of this the information age, and you can pick up your phone and know what's going on. But the people there are still financially not stable.
Got you.
Like Atlanta has flourished because you have an informed public and informed voter base. They can change the local dynamics because there's people thriving. There's a lot of poverty in Atlanta too now,
Right.
but there's also a lot of money in Atlanta. And a lot of the money that's in Atlanta, we control a lot of that too.
Right.
We still don't control everything, but we control a lot of that. In Jackson, it's Mississippi. It's still in Mississippi, and it's still ran by the good old boys.
Yes,
So
sir.
they just like Atlanta. They let you have Atlanta, and they didn't expect Atlanta to get that big. But all of the other parts of Georgia is good old boys.
Oh yeah.
So if you go to North, South, East Georgia, whatever, that's good old boys. Atlanta just got the metropolitan area, and it just kept on growing. You got to, it's just different, man.
Nah,
The state, Mississippi is Mississippi too. It's like Louisiana. Why you think New Orleans had a stranglehold on like tourism and culture and everything, but it hadn't got over the hump yet either.
exactly.
They'll get to 600,000-700,000 population, the hurricane, some crime or something, then they'll have flight of the city and it go down to 300,000-400,000 people again. People leaving.
Yeah, to speak to the detriment about Atlanta, I heard a joke one time where somebody said, "I ain't from no Georgia. I'm from
Atlanta. I'm
Atlanta."
from Atlanta. Yeah, that's a whole different place.
So, and we're gonna come back. We stopped at Alcorn.
Yeah.
Then we graduate.
Yes, sir. I didn't graduate. Put that on paper. I'm just a dues paying alumni member. They installed a lot in me and instilled a lot in me, and I was there long enough. But I did not graduate. But I'm an Alcornite nonetheless.
And that's not a shot at you for not
No.
graduating
Oh
because
yeah.
some people recognize, hey, school just ain't for me.
Oh yeah.
I didn't graduate
Right.
from I was going to say high school. I graduated from high school, y'all. Christian County, class of 2000,
Yeah.
Paducah Tim, all that. But I went to NKU up near Cincinnati.
Yes, sir.
I didn't finish. I came down here to MCSU,
Yeah.
out here,
Yeah.
being a young man.
Yes, sir.
And but that didn't stop my progress. It didn't stop me from achieving. So after college, what was your goals and what were you trying to achieve now that you're not in school, but you got to get out here and do something. And what was that something?
Well, I right after I left school, I spent the year at the house figuring it out. Almost a year at the house figuring it out. Before I moved to Nashville. When I moved to Nashville, it was more so let's just get a job My wife at the time, my girlfriend, she was had a job. She was fairly stable. She was stable, but I'm figuring it out. I'm job to job, Clover Bottom, UPS before I went to barber school.
Okay.
So that was my like, you know what? What am I good at for real? Like what I've been doing this whole time, the whole time, every job I went to, I'm cutting 2 or 3 of my coworkers' hair.
Yeah,
In college,
I
I'm
get you in the
cutting
parking
hair.
lot, bro.
Yeah.
Right up from work. I got
I'm taking my clippers to work and following them home and busting their head, like that. So uh I'm like, what am I good at? I cut hair in college, cut hair all through high, like from the ninth grade, not just like something I picked up a senior year or something, like ninth, 10th grade, all the way through high school. Most of my college, at the couple of little dead end jobs I had, I was still cutting hair. Some said, man, let me go to barber school. Not really thinking that I had a job or a barbershop to land at already. I went. But I had a family friend, Gary Jackson, end up he'd been in the family a long time. Actually, my cousins, they each other's godparents to each other's kids and stuff too. So I consider my cousin. Uh he had a barbershop in Antioch.
you. Okay.
And make a long story short, I worked there for 10 years.
I think that's where we intersected
Yeah. Yeah.
at that barbershop.
That's what we
Was it
did.
G's?
Yeah, G's.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
That's Gary. Yep. Short for G's. And that was with Kenny.
Okay. Yes,
That was
sir.
at Kenny's show when his album release parties. You came through and you did the set.
Yes, sir.
And I thought you were dope, bro.
Man, I appreciate it. I do a little
Yeah.
something here and there.
And I'm gonna be honest with you too, bro. Be real honest with you too. I'm gonna be honest with you. You as a man and you as an artist. And me as a man and me and my lack of I wasn't as well rounded at the time I met you, right? So you was the first person I ever heard make quote unquote Christian or clean rap sound cool to me.
Word.
Like for real, bro. Like Lecrae cool and made dope songs. But you talking about like a rapper, like a spit, like a hip hop head, like a Bun B or a Pimp or you know what I'm saying, like a 3000, somebody can rap in the sense of hip hop sense. Like Derek Miner or somebody like that, they can
Shout
rap
out to
like,
Derek
yeah,
Minor.
that's my guys. Somebody like that, they can just rap, but they subject matter, bro. You was the first person ever to make me be like, he's just a rapper. They can just rap. He ain't just like no Christian rapper, bro. Just a good rapper. And you got wordplay and everything. And you didn't make me feel like I was at church while I was listening listening to your music.
Man, I appreciate that. And that was something that I strive for because I felt like if I'm going to attract people, I can't beat them over the head with the Bible or beat them over the head with this word or, try to
Yeah,
chastise somebody. I got to give them my story
yeah,
and hopefully they'll learn from it and they can see God through my story and my process. So, I'm not going to say it was all planned or it was
yeah,
all me. I give all honor to God for, placing that spirit within me to, recognize that. But yeah, man.
yeah. That was dope though. And you opened my eyes though, bro. For real, for real. Cause I'm just kind of like I was telling you, my best friend's wife, it was his girlfriend at the time. We had Alcorn. She was the first person. Shout out to Brandy, cause she'll be watching this. Shout out to Brandy Kais. She was just my partner's girlfriend at the time. And all we listened to was Boosie, Master P. That's that old Boosie. We I think it caught 2000. So this ain't the Boosie everybody know. This
Right.
that across the track Boosie. So it's Boosie P, Hot Boys, all that stuff. I wasn't well around it. The most lyrical I was go to maybe was a 3000, a Scarface, a Pac, or a Jigger. Jay-Z probably the most north. And I always liked Jay the Kiss. But for some reason, nobody ever gravitated us towards me. She was the first person who made me listen, like really tap in, appreciate Common.
Mm.
She had some underground tapes of Kanye West before he even came out, before anybody knew who he was when he was just a producer, like, cause he's from Chicago.
Okay.
So she had those mixtapes that he had floating around out there before Jay-Z and them really let him rap. Big Kanye fan, Slum Village, Tribe. She put me on a whole lot of music, man, and kind of just scaled my mind up as far as my musical taste. Nas, I already listened to Nas, but she was a Nas head. You feel
Okay.
me? he my favorite rapper right now.
Okay.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
So
he's
shout out to Brandon. Shout out sis.
yeah, he one of those artists that we kind of he aged well, and we
Yeah.
can still grasp his, his concept and his, everything that he has going on. It's like we grew up with him from being just
Yeah.
a guy from the projects that, had
Mm-hmm.
a cold sword to somebody that's, taking over
Yeah.
the entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
side of the
Yes.
business.
Yes,
So
sir. And he still find a way to kill everybody on their features right now. He's still relevant. He still make all his verses mean something. That's one thing I like about Nas. Every single feature, every single verse, he go drop a jewel and put a gem in there for the young cats. Every single song. You can't pick a song where he just wasted a verse and then
right,
give you something to lead you better. Some verses are stronger than others where he get like Jay-Z just got a song where he just talking about messing off and just blowing the money and just, you know what I mean? And in the song early in his career, he was flat, but he wasn't necessarily teaching you stuff consistently like he does now when he got older in age. Nas from the beginning left you better if you listen to what he was saying
right.
from the very beginning. And that's why and as I got old, I went back and really tapped in and being at the barbershop with G them and all them old head cats. They go whip you in the shape far as your musical, So I'm 24 working with them, 25 working with them. See, you gonna learn something.
Fun fact: uh, Illmatic by Nas was dropped April 19th, 1994, which is my birthday. So,
Oh,
I always keep that in the back of
yeah,
my mind. And actually, that same week of 1994, Outkast dropped Southern Playalistic. Also, I want to say Scarface, The Diary.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
one of my
all
favorite.
in all, in that same
Yeah,
like week or that same month
yeah.
they dropped.
That's a
Anyway,
that's a hell of a birthday
that's
present
my fun
as a young
fact.
man, as a
So
12-year old. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
so we in Nashville. We living and dabbing, cutting hair, and it says here that you do a lot of stuff. You manage artists and you do promotions for artists. So how did that bug bite you while you was out here? You know, cutting, chopping everybody up. I know you had to run into
Yeah.
some artists and be like, "Hey, bro, I want you come on the road and fade me up," or something. It had to be some type of conversation like that while
Man,
you was out here.
I really don't know the moment it clicked on me, but being in that barber shop and having various jobs and moving around the city in different capacities, going out, uh, networks between my wife's friends and stuff like that. It just started my my social network started to build, and my partners around the time they bought a club. So as I'm hanging out and inviting people out and telling people to come through and in the barbershop and people's ear, hey, we got this going on, we got this going on. I really just started helping them promote, quote unquote. I really wasn't managing the club per se, but I had a lot of influence on certain decisions being made. And I guess that was the bug that bit me. Like, man, I can get a few people. I'm getting 20, 30 people to come out to this spot right here to hang out, have some drinks and stuff. And my folks, they compensate me and stuff. But I was like, how do I scale it up a little bit? How do I change it? Because I'm tired of being out all night. And I got a shout out to DJ Legacy. She was the first person I had that conversation with. Like, man, I've been staying out, helping these guys promote the club and partying and stuff. I'm gonna get home 3, 4, 5 in the morning, 3 or 4 days a week. Though, having a wife or having a fiance at the time or old lady, that ain't gonna be keep on flying
Yeah.
consistently.
Oh,
All
it,
right,
it.
come on.
Hey.
So outside of doing that for a year or so, uh, Legacy was like, "What do you like to do?" She just asked me. I nobody ever asked me like, "What else do you like to do? What else other art form do you want to participate in outside of helping people book parties at the club and kind of helping them manage that?" I was like, "I like comedy." And she was like, Well, you ever thought about doing a comedy show? I'm like, I haven't, but I do now. And the rest is history. So the comedy bug bit me before I ever did a concert or anything
Mm,
like that. Before I did my first booking of any concert, uh, I did a couple comedy shows at the Cave, and that was all through Legacy. Legacy challenged me and inspired me to do that by making me find out what I really like. Nobody really asked
mm.
me what I liked. Outside of cutting hair, I didn't have a passion for real that I was chasing. So I'm like, man, you know what? I want to do this comedy thing. Then I do like it. I do go to me and my wife go to Zana's all the time, and I'm watching his comedy specials, and I even been to a couple local comedy shows up until that point. Jazz and Jokes was on. Man, you know what?
Oh,
I bet on myself.
so
So
is this where the start of Wisecrack comedy series
that's
comes about?
exactly.
And when would you say when was your first show?
It was 2014. So it was 2014, my first show. I remember it was like August 22nd,
Mm,
2014 at the Cave. Sir Walt was my headliner. Jessica Carter, KJ Johnson, and Zach Boog was on my line. I remember my first lineup and everything.
mm.
I had I forgot the band, Steven Marshall. I think her name Rochelle. Uh
She used to do nails for Roche. Nah.
yeah. She wanted to sing it. She one of the most popular. She had a local band, Salazar and them, and I booked them. I booked the live band, the comedy show, and all through Renard Hurst too. He helped me out.
Okay.
Legacy introduced me to Renard, and he kind of managed my relationships with the comedians and kind of taught me most of what I know in the comedy game too. So shout out to Renard. So every time I have a podcast or if I have an opportunity to give somebody some flowers, because they put something in me, man, I'm gonna give them their flowers.
Got
Because
to.
without them, it wouldn't be a part of my story and my journey. And
Right.
people need to know that because people act like they did it all themselves. And that frustrates the hell out of me because I know if you ain't one of the biggest sayings, if your dream, you don't need help, you ain't dreaming big enough.
And I always like to reiterate this thing about visions. I probably done said this on every podcast now, but when you are given a vision, God is always going to put somebody in your path to reassure you that you're going on in the right direction.
Yeah,
And so, these people that you named, DJ Legacy, Renard Hirsch, these are
yeah,
all people that were reaffirming what your purpose was or what you was going into. You
yeah,
building opportunities for, other people just off of stuff that you love to do.
yeah. That's how it started too, man. And when you when you have people that's willing to give you help, you have to make sure when you able to return the favor, whether that's just giving them a shout out, a nod, or returning the favor literally. Whenever somebody do something for you, man, you need to keep them in mind. And I'm big on that too. So that's why I always make a point to shout out. So there's gonna be some more shout outs too, though. That's really what I was doing, just letting you know I'm be shouting some people
Nah,
out.
this
Cause
is
my
all
story ain't complete without them.
it's all good. This is a game influenced podcast. You can
Say no more.
name drop like a game album.
Say no
You know
more.
what I'm saying? So
Say no more.
um we building out the Wisecrack comedy series.
Yeah.
What is your highlight moment, your aha moment? Like, man, I really got something with this Wisecrack thing. I'm bringing people in. I'm booking it out. What was that? Okay, I
Okay.
can I can do this. I got it.
Uh when I made a proposal, one of my friends had just opened up another spot in Smyrna, Sing High. Pyro
Mm,
opened up Sing. You know
yes, sir.
Pyro opened up Sing High. And it's like 2015 or something like that. 2015, 2016. So I'm doing it for a year or so. Did a couple shows, financed them, funded them myself, got it to where I was losing the first couple, so I got them in the green. I said, you know what? I got my data, got my footage, put a presentation together, basically like a one sheet. Me and Pyro had a conversation. So, hey man, I can bring this many people in. I can help drive your sales like this. If we do a partnership that includes this, and we did that for almost 3 years.
Mm,
So being able to do business independently as a promoter in one establishment for a bi-weekly comedy show on the out, not depending on the Nashville market, but the Smyrna market that was virtually untapped at the time. That was my moment right there. I was like, man, about 2 years in, Like, man, we really been going for 2 years. Like every 2 weeks, I got people coming from the barbershop, got people coming from the jobs I worked at, and at the barbershop too, I gotta go back. I gotta go back a step. Besides my partner Clint, like the cats that I was, they 10 years older than me. The guy G 10 years older than me. So all
Mm,
his partners and they my big dogs. You feel what I'm saying?
right.
I was the young bull. You gotta think I'm in my 20s when I started working up there. So they in they mid-30s. When it's coming to going out Nashville nightlife, they asking me for my advice.
Mm,
Cause I wasn't like no young and dumb 25 or 26-year-old. I was always cultured and what I'm saying, on a certain player level to where I was a mature. I move around. They used to ask me where to go and what to do and certain things like so they trusted me. So
right.
I provided good, consistent advice or have situations for them to pop up at and be safe and what I'm saying, had a certain level of decorum and privacy when they out because they all these guys businessmen, entrepreneurs or whatnot. So they trust me. So when I say, hey, I got a comedy show, a lot of that was fueled through my immediate network. And that's around the time when Leo
Shout
and
out Leo.
CMR shortly after that. And that's how I met Carl, my other partners at Ford Entertainment through that. So at that time, it was just me figuring it out. And and I wasn't doing anything with artist management. And I'm finna segue to that 'cause I know that's the next thing you finna ask me. But doing the comedy, when I'm doing the comedy shows, Leo is doing artist management.
Mm,
You feel me?
okay.
He's doing artist management. We kind of built that bridge together because I needed help doing the comedy shows. I'm traveling. I got a family. I got an old lady. I'm doing other stuff. We trying to do music, concerts, and stuff too. So I need a partner, somebody to be responsible when I'm not in town. Help count these books down and trust with the money. You know what I'm saying? And he my dog. He my young bull. Like I was the guys at the G's and them young bull. He was my young bull at the same time. So I'm trusting him with some responsibilities. So we just made it, locked it in as business partners. So he started teaching me and telling me about the artist management side of what he was doing as far as in entertainment. And I was taught him about the comedy shows and booking these comedians without some of the stuff I learned from Renard and some of the stuff about production. I just picked up on myself, I started taking the shows to Mouse Point with my partner, Jack Keaton, uh, North Mississippi with my partner, Boyce James, BJ, and CB Corey Bass and Dr. Basson now just doing, just spread my wings, man. And that's kind of how that comedy took off. And they kind of just getting on the road and on relationship with these venues and different things in different parts of the South trickle down to the events and the music.
So would you say that being in that shed back in the day,
Oh
cutting the
yeah, yeah, oh
hair,
yeah, that definitely.
did that give you your business acumen?
Yes,
Did that, prepare you for,
yes.
barbering on a bigger level, then come into
That social collateral, leveraging those relationships into a social currency to where people will
mm,
trust you. Cause I'm in the chair form relationships with people way back then. My friends will tell you right now, I've been the same way for as just being myself and speaking up on certain things and being in my own lane and having a certain level of integrity to where people just trust my word, man, because I ain't out to get nobody, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. The party probably ain't gonna be popping. I'm gonna tell you the party ain't popping, even if it's my party. Cause I want you to come if you go come anyway. So I don't want to
right.
come cause you'll never trust me again. So I'm always big on that. People just trust my word on that, man. I ain't stealing from nobody. I ain't lying to you, certain things like that. So, and I'm on Facebook Live with it. So if anybody think I've done something different, they'll comment and rebut what I'm
Pull out the
saying.
receipts.
Pull out the receipts. But I ain't worried about
Put them
that
on the
because I
table.
done right by people. So just in conversation, keeping people secrets in the barber chair, find out what they like, being able to send them certain places, even if it doesn't involve me or my people, just making sure they have a good time. Then when I finally have something for that person, I can tell them. You know what I'm saying? They be like, "Hey, Doe got this going on. You probably want to be there, even if I got something. I might have some young and ratchet going on, and that ain't necessarily for you this weekend. But
Right.
I'm gonna send them to your spot, and they have a great time. Then they might come back to me and be like, a month later, I got my little cousins coming to town. Oh, I'm gonna take them out to a little spot, some young stuff. What you want to do? Hey, I got this young and ratchet for you. Then they come and support me. anyway when it's time.
Right.
You ain't gotta lie, shuck people out, man. So that's kind of my reputation, been keeping it 100 with people. So, they trust
Let's
me.
let's talk about for a second the importance of the barbershop in the black community.
Oh man. Like I say, it helped me spread my wings. So it's the it's the it's the therapy. It's the lounge, man. It's the long couch for a lot of cats. It's a lot of cats. I've seen my partner G stop people from shooting people, man.
Mm,
I seen him real big homie the neighborhood.
mm,
Hey man, pick that paper. You don't live outside of my shop, bro. We all pay out rent over here. People don't want to pull up and step on your like really dictate things, like really stop you. I remember one time I'm coming out the barber shop and a guy was coming on to another guy and not like I mean coming on like attracted to the guy and was being disrespectful with it too. And then one of the gentlemen went out to the car to get a gun.
mm,
And I jumped in this like, because I seen my big dog jump in a situation too. Like, hey, and we don't even know these people, but just trying to diffuse situations. So, but we got a liquor store, we got certain other people in that community, they ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's a liquor store at the time, it's the owners of the actual store we in. They don't look like me
mm,
or the people that was finna be in the altercation. But the owner of the shop, G, Clint, me, Nitty, Byron, we all look like the perpetrators of these events. You know what I'm saying? So we feel like obligation to step in. So in the black community, man, the barbershop is the safe haven. It's the neutral zone. It's cats that being that we know they might have been fighting in school, they high school, so they might have got to fighting 2-3 weeks ago, but they come to the same barbershop. When they're in the barbershop, it's nothing.
right.
It's nothing.
We ain't finna had all that in him.
You got your single mothers, they coming through, they feel safe, they trust their kids to drop them. Can I drop them off and go run some errands, pay some bills? Your kids safe. You drop them off. It's a daycare, bro. With a mental health, we counselors. We didn't, how many haircuts I cut for free?
Mm,
Or how many times I in front of the little haircut to a mom or a little dude for a prom? Hey man, I got, and bro, don't even worry about it. I'm 2,000 haircuts in for free, bro. You see what I'm saying? I can imagine what G, a knitted who been cutting hair for 40, 30 years, how many hack, just stuff like that in the community. I done seen G buy people furniture.
mm,
Like couches. Now I ain't talking about like an end table or a little or a fold out chair. I'm talking about a love seat and furniture set, bro.
mm. The
The
whole
whole
living
set
room
for a
suite.
single mother.
Mm,
Cause he loved the kids. He loved her, loved the kids. They been coming around so long. They had a brotherhood, sisterhood. The kids in the community, like they know us and stuff. Man, they got a little spot. They got a new house. Congratulations. Hey, I got something for you. Boom. Bless them. So I'm around cats like that. D. Smith, like cats who General Gerald Brown, cats around that barbershop, man. They go out their way to treat people right, do stuff for people, and just be a pillar of the community. A lot of that stuff I learned from the barbershop.
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Is your experiences from the barbershop, did that lead to you being more involved in the community? I see that you formed 200 Man Stand, and I've seen you do other stuff in the community as well.
Yeah.
So would you say that that was a start
That
at
was
the
the that was the gave me
barbershop?
my Nash. I'm be honest with you. My family they stand on stuff like that. My mom and my dad and my grandmama, they are, especially my dad too, just being a band director. He giving people instruments, $1,000 saxophones,
Mm,
$400 trumpets, a $400 clarinet, a used, mouthpiece, whatever it is. He's always been that type of guy. My mom always been in church, helping people, donating her last, giving her last, taking kids back and forth, feeding the community. The barbershop gave me a group of black men that wasn't my family, leading by example though.
mm,
You feel me? So it's in me already. Like you can't. I'm already cutting half. I cut half for free my whole life. Popping in, doing this, doing favors, lending folk. Being a good guy. But seeing multiple black men, not just my dad or a couple guys in the community, and I also got to give a shout out to. We'll circle back. but seeing a multitude of black men that didn't sell drugs, that didn't hustle, do anything illegal, all business owners, a high level employees, be community first. They're my first example of that as a young man in my early mid 20s.
Mm.
Cause in college you growing. A lot of the men in college I know it from seeing them instead getting college. They doing that in their communities like me. But that was my example of seeing it grown men really getting down and caring. You know what I mean? The 200 man stand started through music because uh me and Hambino just in the music scene in Nashville, meeting each other, linking up, and he knowing my character and I'm knowing his character. He called me to the table, like, bro, I see what you really like, what you do, and how you really are. That's I gotta play. I can't do it without you.
Mm.
So I was honored, bro. Even thought about me. The 200 man stand wasn't my idea. It was Hambino's idea. You feel me?
Okay, shout out
And
Hambino.
shout out, that's my brother, and he bought me had a vision that he seen I could help him complete in his journey. So he like, bro, I want you to be my partner. We partnered and we bought in other cats, and at our board we got Sky Ferrari, Chris, all the Ford Entertainment folks, you know what I mean? But we got a strong core of brothers that we do good work with now. But it all started with a vision from Hambino. And the work he seen me do came from me having a platform that you do what I do that my parents raised me at the barbershop. You feel me? That's all it is. So you got to get it in. You got to be in your steps to it, though. You got to be in your first. Then you got to have a way to showcase it.
Right.
Then you got to have other brothers that believe in you, help take it to the next level. So that's how it was. My folks put it in me. The barbershop helped me showcase it. Then the team I needed was Hambino to help take it to the next level. So that's
We'll,
how that journey went.
we'll say that a seed was planted doing cutting hair. It led you to the barbershop. Guys at the barbershop watered that seed.
Yeah.
Then after that, you have I can't remember all the steps in photosynthesis and all
Yeah.
that stuff, but
Yes. Yeah.
your seed
Yeah.
spreads. It attracts it attracts bees. It
Yeah.
attracts people that come
Yeah.
to pollinate and go back out into this world and help spread that positive message or the positive activities that you're doing.
Yeah.
And what kind of activities are you doing when you're involved in 200?
That helped me circle back. You didn't even know you was good. When I said I'm gonna circle back to something, you just helped me circle back to something. We started off just doing resources, meaning me and Habino wanted to get employment, knowledge of self, uh, mental health, voter rights, civil rights, advocacy, just information in general, and bring it straight to the hood, bring it straight to the community. We ain't doing nothing. We didn't want to do anything new, right? It's people doing this all over the country. But a lot of people not setting up where the people can come that need it the most. If you have it at a high school gymnasium and you have it somewhere like that, and people that lack transportation can't get there, how do they get there? So we wanted to set up in North Nashville at the Hadley Park. There's people done it. We set up in Cumberland View, aka Dye City. We set up at Hartman Park. We set up in various communities and brought those various resources straight to the community so people can literally walk and wake up and see what, how they can be helped like in the moment. And now without having to see it on social media, a lot of times people don't even have phones. They don't have internet in these inner cities, in these communities, but we throwing events and we marketing it like it's a party, So we want to change that and, bring it straight to the community. That's how it started. But one of the people that influenced one of our next initiatives was my partner, Skinny Pimp, aka Darius Price. He was my big home in the neighborhood. Like as it was anybody that I had admiration for growing up, that was a hustler to the utmost, but had character, organizational skills, leadership skills. It was him. But he was never a detriment to his community in the sense of violence or, you know what I mean, anything like that. He got his money now, but he wasn't finna do nothing. He respected the old ladies. He ain't the cat from the cuss out. He making cats cut the music down when they come through, no speeding through the night. It was something like that. But one thing he instilled in us was cleaning up and pride for our community as far as cleaning that thing up. It wasn't no littering. If it wasn't from our crew, you know. And we used to pick up the trash. We had about 5 blocks he served. I seen him serve at least 3 or 4 times. Even made the newspaper at the crib. You feel me?
Mm.
So I want to get back to that. So bro inspired me to do that because I participated in a couple. He did it while I was in college too. So one of them I did, and a couple of them I didn't get a chance to participate in. But I want to get back towards that. So he inspired me to come back and do the community cleanups. That's part of our infrastructure now. That's part of our arsenal. So
Right.
we got the community cleanups, we got the resource festivals, we got the mental health campaign, the destigmatize mental health. We got a lot of things going on right now, you know. So that's all part of the journey, though.
All part of the journey. And, you know, Hambino is an artist.
Yeah,
Um, let's jump into the artist management, the promotion and the touring that you've done with various artists such as, you know, Starlito, Bun B, uh, Scotty ATL. How did you get into that, and how did that all start?
man. My first concert I booked was a standalone concert. Me and my partner Melvin booked together. It was 2016 for our musical event, musical concert. We booked Carl Thomas.
Okay,
And it went well. You know, it did what it did. I think we might have lost a little money. We didn't get killed.
you didn't get emotional, did you?
I did actually. No pun intended. But I actually did because we lost a little money. That was our first showing, and the comedy it started but being successful at the time. So we took a little slight beating, but it wasn't nothing crazy. I was still encouraged and still motivated to go do it again. But and me being an R&B music head, hip hop my first love, but R&B is like my 1B.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And some of it's becoming my 1A now, but at the time it was my 1B. But the next concert I did was a couple smaller rap concerts. Then I jumped out there with Starlito.
okay.
We did Starlito in Biloxi, him and Don Tripp. And it went crazy. We did good. You know, it was a really good show, really good turnout. And that motivated me to do Young Dolph down in Moss Point with my business partners. And I put a story on my page there to make a long story short. The club owner jacked us off on that one, man, and we ended up having to come up with some extra money. We didn't have the full payment for Dolph, but that's why I respect Dolph a lot because we was short and he still performed for the fans.
Mm,
The club owner didn't contribute anything to us, bro. If Dolph was 32,000, we like, okay, we got the first half. We got the deposit. We paid the deposit, me and my team, bro. We paid the deposit. Then it's come Dolph come to show up to do the show. Like, okay, the owner, we negotiate. You got the back end. When he show up, you got the back end, right? Man, I ain't got no money. What? We scraped up like 4 or 5 thousand, gave Dolph. I think he wanted 32. We had 20 all together, something like that. 2021. Dolph performed, bro.
mm,
Didn't pull off. He was in every right to just pull off on us and take the money he had and take the money that we was gonna give him and pull off. He performed, did a whole set, about 45 minutes, bro. Real
mm.
talk. Real talk. He made me a Dolph fan. Not to get off subject, I just had to tell that story while I'm on air.
Right.
Because I'm giving folks for their flowers. But that's why I got a lot of respect for him. But that led after that Dolph concert, we doubled back down with I forgot who we had next, but we bought Starlito down to Moss Point. After that, we had him at Biloxi the year before. And the show didn't do too good. And me and bro talked about it. He just liked the way I did business, I guess, you know. So when they got ready to go on tour, I was like, bro, I want to get a couple of these dates down in my area. And me and him, like, bro, let's partner because he independent. He truly an independent artist. He a big dog in the independent space. So he moved everything by himself.
Right.
So they did 52 dates. I partnered with him on like 6 or 7 to be exact. You know what I mean? Outsourced 1 or 2 of them. Like outsourced, I booked them for him and did like another couple, another 5 or 6 myself with him as a partner. And that led to Scotty was on that tour with him. So that led to a relationship with, like I said, your partner Joe, this my guy now,
Shout out Joe
Chevy.
Dent.
Me and Doe, I mean me and not Doe, me and Scotty ended up forming a good relationship at the time. So a year later, Scotty wanted to do a run and his management contacted me. We had a fair rate. We did it by 7, 8 dates with him around the Southeast too.
Mm.
and that led to an opportunity. The Bun B and Starlito 3 days, that 3 show run, that was Capo.
Shout out to Capo.
Shout out to Vato for real. He a real one for real. That's my guy. But he thought about me, he was like, bro, I really want to do this Bun B. And I was like, bro, you ever, as- see if we can get like anything about putting the Starlito, and Bun with the Bun. Bro, yes, that's it. Let's see if we start, and boom, start agreed to do it. They did a 3-city run. I was partners on 2 of those days. I
Mm.
didn't do the Nashville show. I did the Atlanta and Birmingham show as a partner with them.
Okay.
But that was a good run too, man. And just the whole time I'm figuring out how these artists move from booking these artists and Leo doing the artist management. He had parted ways with the people he was doing business with. So I never got a chance to do business with those guys. But we started an umbrella together under Ford Entertainment around there. All this happened at the same time.
Okay.
And at that same time, we discovered Triple Play Squeak. She already was one of the friends of the family. My little sister and brother and them grew up with her. And I knew her very well, but I didn't know she rapped. She was just little sis, you know what I'm saying? Little
Right.
homegirl. So I didn't know she rapped at all. I know her mom, her dad, everything at the time. Ain't know nothing about her talent. Now, that's a whole different thing. When Instagram first got to going, I wasn't really on it like that. Then my little cousin, which is her best friend, sent us a video. Leo said, man, you been knowing Squeak already, bro. Bring her in for a meeting. Man, we brought her in for a meeting. She was a young thing, too. Told her the vision we had for her, the vision she had. We listened to the vision she had for us, for herself. It lined up, and the rest is history. So we here now, with Squeak took on Sky Ferrari, Ty Fula, Dre Palindrome. We worked and consulted with a multitude of artists in the city, some of the biggest, some of the most some with the most traction. We consulted with some of the up and coming cats too. So we've been all over the place, man. We just try to stay reputable and do good business. That's
Right.
all. All our artists, we try to be fair, try to do everything the right way. So what my partner told me, when you take the elevator, you ain't really built for the journey. That was my partner, that was Jerome.
Mm.
Said you take the stairs, you built for the journey. You got the muscles. Then if you fall, you only stumble back one or two steps. You keep on proceeding forward. The elevator crumbled, you crash.
You done for.
Right. So we've been taking our steps. So we ain't been moving the fastest, but we've been moving right.
Consistent.
Consistent.
That's the word of the
Yeah.
day
Yeah,
in
we've been
this
consistent.
game is consistency.
Yeah.
Because you can
Yeah.
have all the talent in the world, but if you're not consistently, engaging with I call it the Al Gore rhythm,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Al Gore's internet, right?
I like that one though.
So if you're not engaging with the algorithm, then you kind of just lost in the
Right.
sauce. So consistency is something that you have
Yeah.
to have
You
in
better.
in any business actually, and so you got Triple Play Squeak, you got other artists, and the brand is being built and it's coming around strong. It's being
Yeah.
built strongly. You got shooters, you
Yeah.
got you presenting opportunities for other artists.
Yeah.
So how are you building this forward entertainment, and what's the main principles that you stand on while you are building this entertainment company?
Man, the vision is to have an all-inclusive entertainment company. We can produce your events, your tours, everything from corporate to music to comedy, and we're one-stop shop for artists, brand building, and management. That's basically what we are, man. We have 4 owners, me myself as a founder, with 3 other business partners. Uh, we do stuff with integrity. We ain't trying to cut no corners for you. We go be brutally honest with our artists. I think that's what the game is lacking right now. People are just pushing products that they don't even believe in as management, as people behind the scenes. And they know better, but they're not doing better. So we just, pride ourselves on doing stuff the right way, man. Every look ain't for us. We know that. Every fan ain't for us. We know that. We just trying to find out the ones that are.
Yeah, you definitely have to niche down
Yeah.
in this era. Like I think a lot of people get lost trying to appeal to everyone, and everybody ain't for you.
Yeah. You got to
So
be cool with who cool with you.
exactly.
And that's the key to life. So we figuring that out with the music, man. And we still grinding now. You understand though? Like, so we still working, networking. We ain't in no shell or nothing. We believe in going, getting out, shaking hands, doing it organic. Everything ain't done. It's an internet. It's a online world, but it's still real life, and we like to deal in real life. So we still out shaking hands, doing shows, putting up, doing interviews, and all that too.
Man, um, you come in contact with some greats, some people that have, gone on to, you know, to the next life.
Yeah.
And you actually came in contact with the late, uh, great Dick Gregory.
Yes.
Can you, tell about that experience, what you learned from the old man as far as, just even life lessons? Because, he was a person that he was a comedian, but also he was giving you
Gang.
game.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I met coming from doing good business, having integrity, word of mouth travels. If you're doing stuff behind the scenes that's not good business, people go no. So one of my fellow comedy promoters out of Mississippi, Elton, he owns Carpe Diem Management. And he manages quite a few internet stars and a couple rising comedians himself. They doing very well. And me being in Nashville as an independent comedy promoter and manager, him being in Mississippi, he's done the Dick Gregory show, a couple of them at the time. He he asked me specifically, hey man, can we get him in the Nashville market? Because he trusted me to do the business. So we bought him and I worked out a deal with Basement East. We sold it out. And with that deal, I had to go pick Dick Gregory up. From there, he's like, he ain't flying. And he really ain't riding with no random person. So you gotta be one of y'all promoters got to pick him up. So Pope like, man, go pick him up. I got a chance to spend time with him, pick him up. So as we ride, he really just an old man. It wasn't anything so super uh prolific, he said. It was just more so him just recognize he told me a couple things that stuck with me. He said, damn, man, damn boy, you're a good ass driver. He told me I was a good driver. First of all, excuse my language. But Dick Gregory said that to me, so I had to repeat it verbatim. And he told me he could tell I had a good spirit.
Mm.
This is how me checking on, just certain, I guess, I don't know. He just, just his old man intuition. He a bad boy, so, he might just have a hell of an intuition. I ain't disagreeing with him, but he told me, he said, man, I could just tell you're a good person. Keep on doing what you're doing. And outside of that, man, he took him a nap and just talking noise. Hey, man, he just talking to. I think I might have cussed me out one time for having that air too high on him or something like that. He was cold in there. Man, cut that out, just something like that. But he just a good dude, regular guy, nice guy. Took the time. What I noticed about him the most, it wasn't what our interactions was. It was his interaction with everybody else because he knew I was promoter. So our interaction was based in business, and we had to have a certain level of communication. But it was the fans after the show. You can ask Chuck Taylor, because Chuck Taylor came to me after the show. He's like, man, oh y'all, because Dick Ray was riding my car, my Honda. He hopping in my car, I'm taking him to the hotel myself. And so as we getting ready to go, Chuck was like, oh, you mind if I get a picture with Dick? I'm like, bro, you gotta ask him, I don't mind. I asked him, hey, OG, can I get a picture with you? Man, Chuck ended up getting a picture and talking to Dick Gregory for 30, 45 minutes right there in the front parking lot of Basement East. The front parking lot with the door open. Chuck and Dick Gregory having a real life conversation. I'm not even tapped into that conversation because I walk off and start talking to some other people and just let them do them. You know what I'm saying? If the OG want to pour into them, the OG pour into them. So I just walked off, and that would impress me the most about Dick Gregory as being 80-something years old. Just did a show. It's about 11 o'clock at night. Sold out. He just did an hour headliner. On his way to the hotel, gonna pull out the parking lot, stop for a picture, and turn to an hour conversation with two random young men, black guys that he seen something in, like the assertiveness or something. But I just looked up, I'm peeping the game. I'm just around, talking, conversating. I'm just looking at him, and he turned in the seat and was genuinely engaging with these brothers. That was so impressive to me. That impressed me with him, man. I promise. Cause I would go get mine. You know, I'm the problem. I went and stepped there the day before he left and hollered at him again. I rolled him to the hotel, so I got to spend the time with him.
Right.
But to see the way he engaged with them, man, that was like, oh yeah, he ain't had to do that. Or he could have cut it short 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but he was out there about 45 minutes an hour. Real talk.
And that's why he was so blessed with
Yeah.
life,
Yeah, he
because
was.
he was able to take the moments and pour into somebody else what somebody had gave him years and years
Yeah.
and years ago. But when you are, I like to say, and I'm stealing this from Tony Evans, a
Yeah.
kingdom man,
Yeah.
that's what you do. You pour into the people around you, the people that's younger than you,
Yeah.
the people that need it the most.
Yeah.
Those people at that moment probably needed
I
the
needed the
most.
most. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if it was somebody older, he would be like, "Hey,
Yeah, take a picture. Okay,
yeah."
all right, yeah, yo, let me get on to the, cause he ain't
But
shy. He gonna tell you what he thinking now.
and as an older gentleman, he recognized the immediacy that I have time. Let me
Yeah,
pour this into this young guy.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Let me, this could have saved him from going to do something dumb.
yeah,
You never know.
yeah. I definitely Chuck didn't let me know how cause Chuck my guy, so he let me know a multitude of times how that impacted him, as far as how the OG took the time out to talk to him, and even he didn't tell me the whole conversation, but I know a couple of the gems he did lay on him, and they was, it was there. Yeah, I just respect it. I
Because
respect it,
we
man.
got this term in the streets now called steppers.
Yeah,
But some of it is a negative connotation.
yeah,
But if you break it down to what a stepper really
yeah,
is somebody that's stepping out on faith,
yeah.
really.
I'm a stepper.
And exactly, somebody that's stepping out on faith and able to control the environment that they're
Yes,
in
sir.
with their actions, their integrity,
Yeah,
their accountability. That's what a real stepper
yeah.
is.
You're right,
So as you are stepping into your journey, what are other things, other attributes that you have added, you know, to your regimen that you do every day, or you know, to be successful? What are some key things that you put into to stepping out here?
man. Have good counsel, cause
Mm,
everybody like, hey man, do what you do and don't let nobody deter you. Everybody give you that cliche, do what you do. Nah, bro, don't just do what you do. Talk to some people about what you want to do first, that you respect their opinion on, and get some reputable opinions and insight on what you want to do, because they might get one or two things gonna happen. They're gonna reinforce your feelings to go on and do it, or you're gonna appreciate the insight and they might have some experience or some game of knowledge to deter you from wasting your time, energy, effort, or crashing. You know what I'm saying? So my journey over the last year, working on a couple of the projects that I've been working on over the last 365 days, has grew me more than probably these last 3 to 5 years combined.
I want to speak a bit about seeking high counsel,
Yes.
because that's actually biblical. And I know you are familiar with my company, Higher
Yes,
Ground.
sir.
Um, in the Bible ages, before the New Testament came along, people had to go. They felt like they had to go to the highest point, the highest mountain, to be able to talk to God.
Yeah.
So that's where you get the term "seek higher ground,"
Yeah.
because you leveling up to meet God where He is.
Yes, sir.
But once Jesus came, He meets us where we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good thing that you seek counsel before you do anything, righteous counsel, because
Yeah.
you can't just get
Yeah.
a word from just anybody. Like you
Right.
said, you can't just take everybody's advice. You got to have somebody in your corner that has some wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that has some integrity, somebody that actually had some
Yes,
experiences,
sir.
because that's just like me asking my son for advice, and he 14.
Yeah.
What can he tell me about this or
So
that? Now
yeah.
he might be an expert in
Certain.
certain
Yeah.
things,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I have to find those character guys, I like to call,
Yeah.
and build with them. And it's a thing where you have to separate yourself
You got to.
from the
You
riffraff.
got to.
And then sometimes you have to go back into
You
the
got to.
riffraff and
Yes.
show them the way.
Yes.
And so, how have you used whatever you've done? I know you have a son, just like I do.
Yeah.
How have you used those experiences, that high counsel, to contribute to other young people?
Well, my high counsel also, they are my high counsel because when it comes time for action, they about the action and the knowledge. So you can't be in my life as a high counsel or somebody I respect and want their opinion if you're not moving in the light that you say you're moving. You know what I mean? So I'm getting the advice from them about life and business, but when it's time to move and set these initiatives in the community, they my first calls. So that's how that work. You know, they pouring into the other stuff that we want to do, as far as getting their communities. And I'm a vessel. They use me as a vessel. You know, so that's kind of how that work, man.
I mean, even Jesus had 12 folk
Right,
with him.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some
So you
steppers.
better.
You see,
Yeah.
Peter had to cut somebody ear off,
Right.
and Jesus like, "Hey, bro, hey, hold
For
on,
real.
we don't do that. Come back, man.
Yeah.
I know you go to war for me, bro, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it."
That's what Hambino big on. He always letting it remind in the community because we so quick to exile the young brothers that's, quote unquote steppers are about their business and all of that stuff. But they go be our most fearless warriors if we get their mind right for change, advocating. Those guys will go just like Hambino was once a detriment to society.
Mhm.
And with knowledge itself and wisdom and learning and high counsel, that same passion and fearlessness, he would have went in there and did something to somebody or went to make some money. He uses that same fearlessness and passion to change his community. And that's not through force or some guy like coming in there to beat somebody up to change. He's going in there because he's not scared to be around the guys that shooters. He's not scared to be around the guys that still hustling. A lot of time we try to save people that's already getting saved in our community. Like I don't
Exactly.
need like my son and your son don't need the same programs like some cats in the inner city. But then you have cats out here trying to counsel them like they doing something in the community. Like that's admirable. I respect it. I like it because they go need some outside guidance. But they already got circles and support
He
systems.
got a daddy.
You feel me? A
Nah,
dad and
he
his
got.
daddy got high counsel, so he got his uncle network. He already got his mama network, his auntie got his school network. He got so many networks that y'all already put in place for him. I like cats to get out there and push the line in communities that's really underserved, that really really need it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I always respect any help, but that's my part of my platform and my message. I tell everybody, I'm consistent with it too. If you're not in the trenches trying to change nothing, how far is your change gonna go, and how long is it gonna last? You understand?
Even with this platform that you own, Donuts with Dough, uh, it's also a teaching ground for my son
Yeah,
to show him there's black men behind the scenes in different areas, different industries that make things run, make
yeah,
things
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
Because a lot of kids don't see that. A lot
yeah,
of kids think, "Oh, I want to be an actor," but who's the director?
yeah,
Who's the person that wrote the
yeah,
screenplay? Who's the person that actually brought the talent in? Who's the person that the casting director?
yeah.
And I'll say if those people don't look like us, it's hard to be like, well, shoot, I
I
could do
can
that
do that.
too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh
that's
yeah.
also what this platform is about.
My son, I always did. That's beautiful that you do that too, because I do that for my son too. Everything that I'm involved in, he knows I'm involved in it. I let him know who else has helped me be involved in it. I let him know exactly what's going on in these certain businesses and stuff. He know I do comedy shows. He know I do concert. He know I'm help produce music in the studio. He know this morning I was going to do a podcast.
Mm.
He would have been with me if I knew your son. He's young, so your son, they wouldn't have been hang like that. But he would have been here just observing on his phone and doing something just so he could see me in action. But one thing I do is foster his community, his sense of community.
Mm.
So I remember a shoe drive we did a couple years ago. That was actually his idea. He wanted to do it with him and Hambino's son.
Mm.
Cause he said, Dad, I want to do a drive too. Cause he says doing coat drives and shoe drives and backpack drives and school supply drives and all of this. He just came to me the idea one day like that. I want to do a shoe drive. I'm like, you want to do a shoe drive? He said, yeah, we can do it. Me and 12.
Okay.
I call him Bino. He like, hey, you let 12 know what. Yeah, he down. Let's do it. So he told me what he wanted to do. I got the community behind it. Hambino did his part. We got the National Association of Black Physical Therapists.
Mm.
My homegirl was the president of the Nashville chapter. Shout out Dana Mitchell. Uh, she set it up for her chapter to donate and come and work the event too.
Mm.
So it was spearheaded by two kids. They were 7 years old at the time.
Oh wow.
You feel me? So from that point, he telling me now in the spring he want to do socks and underclothes and stuff like that. Cause he see, he on YouTube now. He getting to see what homeless people need and getting to see certain things that in the community he has knowledge of now that he didn't necessarily 2 years older. So he want to do that next year. We go work on that, So I get the opportunity to work for his dream.
That's dope,
And that's
man.
big, man. I'm just proud of him and what he's doing too. If he even want to do that at his age, to even care enough to even think like that,
But it comes from you.
Yeah.
He's going to be a reflection of what he sees and wants to do what daddy do.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to be in your child's life, even
Yeah.
if you are co-parenting.
Yeah.
Be available.
Be available.
Be
Availability
available.
is better than money.
Yes, sir.
I champion that to any dad out there going through it. I'm not going through it. And my dad didn't go through it, my mom, but I've seen it a lot. Availability is better than $1, man. If y'all can figure it out some kind of way for him to be there, the money that'll work itself out. I promise.
Well, son already told you what he trying to do next spring.
Oh yeah.
So what big O got coming on, man. For coming up in
this fall.
In
this fall we go take a break from any major events until next year. We working on a few things. I can't let them loose now, but for next year, we working on the Hot Summer Music Festival.
Okay.
July 2023.
Hot Summer Music Festival.
Yeah,
okay.
So we working on that, man. We was working on some stuff this year. Had some stuff go on to where we had to postpone it and move it around and then recalibrate some things. And we, next year's the date. Next year we got a hard date on some things. So, but as of this fall, we got a couple community initiatives we trying to do. Late August, we working on a community barbecue to where no strings attached. Just come and eat, come feed. We asking all the community leaders, community organizers, the community itself, people within these neighborhoods to come out to Hadley Park. We're trying to get it locked in as we speak.
Now you gotta have some impossible meat out there.
That's me. I'm a pescatarian, bro. So we do like 4 vegan days a week in my house.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I'm having the beyond. I like the beyond a little bit better than impossible.
Yeah, my guy Carlos always be trying to get me to eat what is that, cauliflower nuggets and stuff.
I like that.
Shout out to my homie Carlos from Cashville, etc.
Yeah, yes, sir.
The Nashville Black Market. Anything else that you coming with after that as far as music? We spoke on the community involvement. What
Ty Fooler got an album out. The One Squeak got a project coming out with that lead single already out, High Class. Dre Palindrome got he got 2 different projects coming out on the way. He got 2 different little genres of R&B he's been dabbling in. He got some sauce. He finna let alone. And Sky Ferrari, he do music, but he also do events. We had the pleasure of promoting a Mayweather after party, fight after party here in Nashville last year. And the year before that, we did 2 of them with Sky too. So he always got something up his sleeve too. So he working on something big for next year too. Some of that caliber.
Okay.
A super A-list celebrity. He like to hit them big. He did Boosie last year. We helped promote that one for him. We did a couple things with him. We did Starlito in Mobile last year, 2022. In 2020 also. So we know, man, we shaking, man. We coming back in the spring. Nothing in the fall. For real. But we gonna have a loaded spring. We'll get back to business as usual. The pandemic got us a lot less scared. We're a little bit over that now. So, it's hard as being an entrepreneur, man, and risking your time and your money, your liquid capital, bro, to do some business, and you don't know what the government or what private or what people are thinking to go out there and risk it. So we're at the point now to where we want to get us a schedule and get back at it.
Cool. So we got this segment on Donuts with Dough
Yes, sir.
that we call Dough's Half a Dozen.
Yes, sir.
And what that is we share half a dozen, which half a dozen is six. So six of anything of a category that I choose to share with you. So being that you a music man,
Yes, sir.
give me your top six artists that's out right now.
Uh, Triple Play Squeak, Ty Fooley, Dre Palindrome, They Need Weeze,
Yes, sir.
Starlito, and how many is that?
I want to say that was
4 or 5. And I'm finna tell you who I love, man. That boy can just rap, man. I like that boy Trapper Mandel.
Okay.
He get down, man. He one of the best I ever seen do it. One of the best I ever seen do it right now. But that's just who I personally like. My personal top, regardless of what. I'm biased, obviously, because I get to see the unreleased. I got to see the growth and everything like that. But if we went industry, if they want the industry answer, I got one of those too.
Okay, hey, it's all on you. You can give them a dozen, baby.
Whatever. I don't want to. Matter of fact, I'm leaving right there. I'm leaving my list where my list at. I'm straight right there. And They Need Weeze.
Man,
I gotta shout out They Need. I gotta add 7 on my list because I'll be disingenuous.
You said They Need Weeze.
I said They Need Weeze. Okay.
Shout out to They Need Weeze. He actually we done got in the studio together before. And shout out to Capital Minds.
Oh, shout out. That's my
Snipes
and Truth
and Virgos and all
all
them
that, the whole
Magic,
crew.
all of them.
Them are good guys. I love them. We got it. We've done some stuff too. They some good businessmen too, man. Everybody I'm telling and dropping names on for business and stuff is to show that black men do commerce together.
Yes, sir.
Me and Starlito have engaged in commerce. Me and Hambino have engaged in commerce. Me and Snipes and Capital Mans have engaged in commerce. Me and Doe and Cashville, etc. We had a show series, Cashville Underground Thursdays.
Yes,
it went for about 6 months. We engaged in commerce together, bro. You feel me? We didn't talk about that. Me, you, and Loso, Ford Entertainment.
I
got High Ground and Cashville, etc. Had the event series at the Cobra about 3 years ago that we went about 6 months strong. And we booked some of the best Nashville artists, up and coming, some of the more established artists and everything. It was successful. We made money, and the whole premise was we were breaking bread at the door and gave the artists like 80% of the door. So if we had 5 people on 4 people, it was 4 people on every show. We split the door. We take 10% out to cover the house, and we were splitting the 90% between the 3 artists, between the 4 artists. And we did that to empower the music community in Nashville. So that's what stuff like that, bro, that we didn't even touch on is reason why I respect and love you, because you artists first, bro. You could have wanted to be on the show. We made the less money. And you're an artist. You could have said, bro, let me book myself and let me perform and make some but you was wanting to be behind the scenes and help cultivate the atmosphere of Nashville. And to see where we are now, if we don't do stuff then and there, we don't know how we influenced or how we impacted what we see now by doing that.
Right.
Because independent, some of those people that performed, they have never gotten paid. Whether it was $5 or $50. A lot of those artists that we booked, bro, never got a check for performing. And they might not tell you that some of them will, but I know that's for a fact. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to start somewhere. You got to, for all the messed up business that people do, it has to be somebody that comes along and shows you the correct way to do business or the correct way to engage in business. Because let's be honest, like we do have industry here in Nashville, but it's not as big as Atlanta where you can go to a LaFace office, you can go to these offices and learn the business, or even just be out in the streets and run into exec.
You're right.
We don't have that here in Nashville. So
we do, but they don't look like us, so we don't even know who they are. You know what I mean? And they're not trying to push hip hop. Then they only push a certain kind of hip hop too. And that's another conversation.
That's a whole nother
That's a
long
whole nother
conversation,
conversation. So
bro. But before we get out of here, man, give us, the people you want to shout out. Give us your Instagram, all that good stuff, because I know you got a long list of people. Man,
man,
it's a
I
whole army
shouted out.
behind you.
I shouted out to everybody I shouted out during the interview, but I want to shout out my wife. That's who, because when we talking about that counsel,
Mm,
I had to realize a lot of the reason I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be because I didn't run the ideas by her first.
that's your helpmate.
Damn, like, let me run it by her first. She got in, she's smart. She one of the smartest people I know. Hey, let me see, if it makes sense to her before I even go out here and ask somebody else. So shout out to her. Shout out to my parents, my family, everybody that's part of my shout out to you, bro, for this platform you got. And everybody I said in the interview, I mean that. Y'all paid a contribution into with my journey. I'm gonna continue. Just gonna be the fourth, fifth, sixth shout out y'all get. So it's gonna keep on coming. If they put me in front of a camera and ask about my journey, there's certain people I just gotta speak on, bro. So they already know who they are. Letter O underscore forward on Instagram, Otis Carter the fourth on Facebook, Wisecracks Comedy on all platforms, forward ENT number 4 WARD ENT on all platforms. Follow us. We got great events. We have a certain temperature to our events. We not the average people doing the average things. We try to bring a certain little flair of feel to the stuff we do. You feel me?
That's what sets you apart.
One more shout out, Chris Johnson, one of my business partners and mentors. We didn't get to touch on some of the stuff, the bigger projects that I'm working on for next year that I mentioned that's in the works. I didn't have a chance to bring him up and shout him out because those projects are in the work right now. So when I circle back though,
Oh, you definitely coming
I'm gonna
back.
have a lot more stuff to talk about of what happened in the last quarter of 22 and all of 2023. So shout out to my OG Chris Johnson, man.
This is just the introduction. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying? This is like the start of the album
Yeah,
for Otis Carter.
yeah,
Then we gonna come back and hit them with them album cuts.
yeah.
And then hit them with them singles.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
this platform is
Yes,
about. Just
sir.
showing everything that you're working on behind the scenes.
Lord Donovan Hilton. Lord Donovan Hilton, that's my brother and my mentor, Chris Johnson. Big shout out to y'all. We go hit them hard in 2023, fellas. And I just want to let y'all know and let the world know those two names, we making history together. I'm making history with those gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
Man, and that's been another episode of Donuts with Dough, man. And I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation I
Shout
had
out.
with O. Carter from Forward Entertainment, Wisecrack Comedy.
Yes, sir. 200
Yes,
man
man. Thank you.
stand. Oh, follow the 200 man stand too, y'all. That's the most important thing
Yes,
out of the
sir.
whole conversation. 200 man stand. Facebook, Instagram, community initiatives. 200 man stand on Cash App. We always soliciting donations. We're 100% thorough with everything. Everything going to community initiatives.
Transparency.
Transparency.
We
I
like.
screenshot everything on Facebook, Instagram. I screenshot it. I ain't even got time to even worry about it. I
Put the-
screenshot it, put the post out.
Like I say, put the receipts on
Put
the
the
table.
receipts on the
Baby.
table, baby. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And we out, man.
We out, baby.